Welcome back, people. What's good? I know it's been a minute. I apologize, man. I just been out here taking a little break. Not trying to peddle no BS to my viewers slash fans. Trying to give y'all some good content. But I'm glad to be back. Glad to be working. I've been doing work on my other channel with my homeboy V Dot slash co-host, and we just cooking up some good stuff, man. So I'm not even gonna waste no time. But real quick, I did do a little upgrade. I know I usually have the background when it's the let's talk about it. Got a new camera, need a better lens. So I'm just like, in the meantime, until I get that, it's gonna look like this. But we'll get back to, the professionalism and all that. But yeah, man, we got some stuff to talk about though, regardless. And the first thing I really want to talk about, I've been seeing on the timeline, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook is everywhere. So the NBA player PJ Washington, I think he played for Charlotte. I know he played for them. I think he still does. But he had a kid by this Instagram chick, goes by the name of Brittany Renner, and they have a video that went viral recently, and it's pretty nasty if you ask me. A lot of people have their opinions on it. I seen a video with Ricky Smiley and a few other celebrities and things like that. But how do you guys feel? If you've seen it, how do you feel? I'll give you a rundown if you haven't. So in the beginning of the video, he's coming. So they're not together. In the beginning of the video, he comes, I think that was his dad or whatever. He pulls up, knocks on the door. Brittany Renner's mom is already recording and standing behind. I'll just, for the sake of argument, I hate this word, baby mama. Brittany Renner is baby mama. Her mom is standing behind baby mama recording. Then the dad, the NBA player, walks up to get the kid. The kid's crying. So she passes him the kid, and then she like, pause, hold up. We ain't gonna keep doing this because XYZ, he's always crying when you come to get him. And, like a lot of people were saying, like, babies cry. He's not a toddler. He's young. I think at least one maybe. But he cried, and she was like, yeah, every time you come and get him, he cries. And, I'm going to record this every time. And, you need to be a better father and like all this. And he was like, his response was normal. He was just like, yeah, he cried because y'all spoil him or y'all coddle him too much. And it went from, that. I think Brittany Renner's mom said something like, yeah, you got 170K for your B, the B word. He was with his, I think that's his wife now. You got 170K for your B, but your son only got 11,000 in his bank account. And in my mind, I'm like, 11,000, that's a lot of money for a 1-year-old. Like, a lot of adults out here in the U.S. is struggling check to check right now and don't got 11K to say they even have. And what child needs 11K at one time? I mean, he seems well taken care of. He pays child support and all this stuff. So I'm just like, okay, that's me looking at it. You can have your own opinion. Go watch the video. But so, they go from saying that, and then the mom was like, you need to be a man or something and do something, have some something. And he was like, suck my something. And she was like, if you had one, maybe I would. Like, it was just another word I hate, toxic. It was very toxic. The mom, Brittany and her mom both was just like on one, just tripping. And I'm like, yo, that's crazy. But anyway, so they get to the car. He put the kid in the car. The kid's not crying anymore. You know what I mean? And then you see the new lady, the wife, is in the car chilling. And like Brittany kind of barks at her and says something out the way. And the mom is there too. So the wife she said something back, you know what I mean? And then she was like, get out the car then. But of course she didn't, as she shouldn't, feeding into that negativity. And it was just like, in the video kind of ended there. But I was looking at it, I'm like, yo, this was, in my opinion, honestly, it's just a ploy to try to make that man look bad and try to play him, for he's a deadbeat, but he's there showing up to get his kids. You know, he's an NBA player, so he probably does work a lot. He got to go to training camp and do things like that. He got to provide, but he shows up. He's there. You know, I think it was more so she was jealous. You know, the mom ain't, you know, the apple don't fall too far from the tree type of vibe. You know what I mean? So the mom feeding her this negative energy and putting a battery in her back to be who she is, and they're both one and the same. So they just was on some old next level toxic type of stuff to where they trying to expose him for something to get some clout, and she's jealous because she ain't the girl, she ain't the wife, he didn't see her as wifey material, so she's bitter. And then like in some videos I was seeing, it's like, you know, stop painting this narrative of like having men look like deadbeats when he's literally right there. And, you know, he shows up, you know, he ain't even go off. He ain't say nothing negative. He ain't like, you know, like escalate the situation. It was just them like spitting venom and trying to get him to react. Luckily he didn't. Smart man. You know what I mean? Kudos to you. And then, you know, like he had his wife there, as she has the right to be wherever he's at. You know what I mean? So I'm not knocking that, you know, but the only thing I probably would say if it was me and I had my new wife or whatever, I would say, you next time don't even feed into that. You know what I mean? That's how they are. They're gonna be that way. Let's just keep it moving. But yeah, so it was just crazy, man. And like in the past, you could see in her video, Brittany Renner, the baby mama, in those videos, she was at a college football game and she was like, where all the she looking for the recruits, basically, like at a college. She's in her 30s talking about she looking for some new recruits or whatever, and how she said this online. You can find all of this. She said also like NBA players and NFL players are dumb. You can trap them easy and all this, that, and the third. And I mean, as bad as that sound, if you look in the NBA and the NFL world, you see a lot of that happening. So I ain't gonna knock her for that. Fellas, do better. If you knew better, you do better. You know, you already know. You know what I mean? But yeah, she did speak on that and say that, but that just shows you what type of person she is. So, you know, you can't, I mean, yeah, she spitting venom and she a nasty type of person, in my opinion. But if she already said these things in the past and you seen it and you still subscribe to it, then that's your fault. You know what I mean? So I mean, I'm just gonna be real. I can't sugarcoat anything. But you know, he did his part. He did what he was supposed to do. So props to him. And you know, like hopefully they can fix that, because like I was speaking with my co-host from the other show later. I'm just like, only person that really suffer is the baby. You know, you creating a hostile environment, or you know, every time you know he meets up with his dad, you arguing. And he feels some type of way, maybe it be anxiety or, you know, like fear and unsettled, you know, anything. So to do that is messed up. You know, you got to be peaceful for the child and make sure the child loves his father just as much as he loves his mother. You know what I mean? It goes both ways, but more than often you see the woman, a bitter woman, doing that, putting that poison into a child to you know, reject their father, you know. So yeah, it was wild though, man. Like it's still hot on the press, it's still going on, and I don't know, I'm just like, yo, hopefully y'all guys out here making millions of dollars. Why? You know what I mean? Especially if maybe if you had one that held you down from day one, stick with that. You don't have to go out here picking these Instagram chicks, and cause they all they the same. They exactly the same, man. They in your inbox. Like, you gotta think, you know, it's the female version, like, you know, those Instagram girls that do those type of pics and all that, and they have all the guys in their inbox. The guys that's in the inbox doing the same thing. They just want to hit. That's it. You know, but the women on the flip side looking for the millionaires and the dudes with money, they want a little more, maybe. I know they just don't want to hit. They want a bag. They want some money. They might try to trap you with a kid or marry you and get a divorce. I mean, I'm just calling it like I see it, because it is what it is at the end of the day. But I ain't gonna dwell on this too much. If you knew better, you do better. Fellas, you out here, protect yourself. Get to the money and protect yourself. That's all I can say. And let's pray for the kid. Hopefully the kid, you know, can get some type of peace, and like put some type of energy out there for the kids' parents to where they can get an understanding with each other, man, because it ain't where it's at. But we'll be right back with the next topic. All right, man. Next topic. It's another one. Hot off the press. It's been going on for a few weeks, but it's still hot. It's all over the timeline. If you ain't familiar with YSL / Young Thug, a lot's been going on with that. The case has been over for a little bit now, but Young Thug, something recently got released of a interrogation audio. I don't think it's video, but I definitely heard the audio. 2 hours long of him, you know, basically snitching, and how he, you know, went in so hard on Gunna. He was a label mate. Well, Gunna was signed under Thug. So they were in that YSL case in Atlanta, popular Rico case. And, you know, Gunna admitted to the courts that YSL was a gang, XYZ, and he got out. So Young Thug was calling him a snitch, rat, and then he ended up getting out. Young Thug did, and still was hating on him, calling him a rat, you a snitch, you this, that, you know, trying to down him. Then this recently come out with the audio of Young Thug allegedly snitching. You know what I'm saying? Telling, you know, things about the bus that got shot up with Lil Wayne years ago, and how who sells drugs to Lil Wayne, and he gave a gun to such and such, and it's crazy. And I'm just like, I'm listening and hearing these clips and the videos. I'm like, damn, you know, you was, you know, rah about how you stand on these codes, and how you a real one, and you a boss, and you do all these things, and then behind closed doors. Granted, this happened a few years ago. The video that happened a few years ago. So all this time he been rah calling Gunna a rat and all this. You done already did this. You did this years ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's a pot calling the kettle black, and I'm just like, damn, you know. So I'm a big fan of the hip hop game. You know, not more so. I was a lot more back in the day when it was real rap, but this is, you know, like, cause he's a staple in Atlanta. He one of them guys. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, for him to talk all this mess, to put up this facade, and then, you know, try to down the other guys, and then you did it first out of the guys. What does that mean? Like, who are you as a person? You know what I mean? Like, and then it is another question that presents itself, like, you know, with ratting or snitching with the rap community, like, does it really matter? Because all of y'all doing it. You know what I mean? So why does it even matter? Does it even matter anymore? Is there any loyalty? Is it? I don't think so. I really don't. So I don't know why he was going so hard on this guy. And on top of that, you know what I mean? Like, he just put out his last album that's under Young Thug's label. So he's done with him after this, but he was making you money. And from what I heard, I'm not 100% on this, during the YSL trial, all of Young Thug's finances was froze because of the RICO. So they froze all his money, all his accounts. So from what I heard and what I read, the Gunner guy that Young Thug's calling the snitch was paying all the legal fees. So he paid all your legal fees. Only thing he really said in court was, yes, YSL's a gang. You know what I mean? And on top of that, he signed Gunner, but Gunner's not from where they from. He's just a label mate. You know what I mean? But it's just crazy to think about, because, you know, he did all that, and then you come out trying to down the man, and then, you know, here we are now looking at you, and then it adds fire to the flames. You know, Young Thug was making posts on social media saying, like, basically he's like, oh, y'all want to talk about me? I'll expose all these Atlanta rappers. He was saying something about how all these Atlanta rappers is on the down low. And he said he gonna expose them all. Y'all keep talking, I'm gonna expose them all. And you know, if you know about Atlanta, you know it's a little different down there. You know what I mean? But to each his own. But you hear, you know, especially in the hip hop industry in Atlanta. But he talking about exposing people, and I look at that as like, you know, man, you deflecting basically. So you trying to, oh, I'm down here, I'm gonna drag you down here with me. You know what I mean? If I go down, everybody going down. Basically, that's how I seen it. And it's kind of sad to see, you know, somebody go out like that. I ain't the biggest fan of Young Thug. I've heard a few of his songs that was cool over the years, but I ain't never really like checked in for him like a Jadakiss or, you know, a Wayne or, you know, anybody else like that. But yeah, it's still crazy though. But it's hot like fire right now. So yeah, I don't know what else to say or what else is going to come out next. One thing I do know though, it's a retired police officer. He has a lot of evidence. He made this his life's work. He has like calls, video, surveillance of this whole Young Thug situation, to where he's like, if this gets released, it's all over for Young Thug. But this has been his life's work, and he's looking to sell it. He's retired. I heard he's working with kids right now in the youth program and stuff like that. But if somebody were to buy that and it is what he say it is, man, you know, because like you got to think Young Thug he's cool and hip with everybody. You know what I mean? T.I., 21 Savage, Lil Baby. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these guys, those are the guys from Atlanta. Like if you want to be in the crowd, those are the top ones. So yeah, he's selling it. I think he said for 2 million, 2.1 million or something like that, the number is. So he's looking to sell that. So I'm like, okay, if that comes out, if somebody's willing to buy that, which I'm pretty sure they probably will, you could flip that to a documentary and then, you know, double your profit, triple maybe, because it's hot right now. You know what I mean? But we'll see, man. But it's a sad situation for hip hop. I'll say that, because I even heard some phone calls with him dissing Kendrick Lamar, saying how he don't help nobody. And because he reached out for a verse and Kendrick didn't reply. But you know, I also seen how many features Kendrick Lamar done did. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't make sense. And Young Thug was saying that's why he'll never be bigger than Drake. You know what I'm saying? But it just sounded like a little saltiness to me, if you ask me. So yeah, I don't know, man. With that being said, yeah, we'll definitely check back into it, because it's like every day is some new stuff coming out about it. You know what I mean? So we'll be right back with the last topic. All right, man. This is a little political right here. So we're gonna make this short. This will be a short video. I'll be back with more sooner than later. But anyway, so you know, recently Trump had deployed those troops to DC, and because the crime rate was high. And I seen a lot of viral videos of people walking through neighborhoods with their jewelry flashing, saying how peaceful it was, how, you know, it was needed and things like that. And crime was I think it went down to 0 for the period of time that they were there, the army. So, and then I seen other people's like I seen this one female, she was just like, you need to come to Chicago. And then somebody else was like, you need to come to Chicago. Well, it's being reported that he's going to Chicago next. You know, he's going to, you know, put the fire out in Chicago. If you know, like I know, every time you hear about Chicago, it's like, yeah, hey, that place ain't where you want to be at, you know, especially if you ain't from around there. So from what I heard is that's his next stop, to go to Chicago to combat the crime rate and the shootings and things like that. How do I feel about that? Hey, I'm with it. You know, if you want my honest opinion, you know, like it shouldn't even be like this, but it's a lot of, you know, mass murder on the people that look just like me, and they on both sides of the gun, you know, without saying a lot. And if he can do something about that, I'm all for it. Even if it wasn't somebody that looked like me, but you get what I'm saying. That's what it is. So I'm just glad that maybe it could spark a change. It could push their minds to do something else other than that. You know what I mean? So I salute it. You know, I'm happy for DC that they got their piece. Now we can go to Chicago, they can get their piece, because I mean it's a lot of these younger guys, real young guys out here doing it. Not thinking, just reacting to their environment, or, you know, just emotional, or just, you know, wilding out, for lack of words. So if it could spark a change into them to do something else, you know, to ditch the strap, not worry about they ops, you know, that's what they call them, and then find something else to get into, then I'm all here for it, you know. And I know the people that live there that don't even have nothing to do with these type of things will enjoy it too. Get to live a good life, get to go outside and enjoy some fresh air, or, you know, like just be normal. Like you know, you might be in a different area like I am. That's normal. But in places like that, they don't get to do that. You know, they got to watch over their shoulder. They got to run to the bus stop, or, you know what I mean? Like, you got to think about that. It's basically like a war zone, especially from what I hear. I don't know for sure, but when you hear about Chicago, you hear about, it's like they call it Chirac. You know what I mean? So they do that for a reason. So yeah, I'm all here for it, man. If it'll bring some peace, I'm here, and I salute it. Shout out to, you know, Trump, if he doing that. You know, I think that's I'm like 90% sure that's true. I know 100% he did it in DC, and everybody, black, white, brown, whatever, was happy. You know what I mean? So, you know, you gotta salute when it's due. Give them credit when credit is due, to stomp out some negativity out here in these states. So yeah, I'm pushing peace. I'm here for it, man. Longevity. Let people live. Let them, you know, aspire to be something greater than what's right now, and you know, maybe change their paths, man. So I won't even talk about that too much, but I'll do some more research, and if things change, or he may go to a different city, we'll see. You know what I mean? But with that being said, man, look, like I said, I'm doing some upgrades right now. I got my new cam. I'm recording on a new cam right now, but I got a new lens coming in, and then I'll be updating my background and my lighting situation and things like that. But you see the growth going, man. So look, just work with me. Like I always say, stay focused, stay blessed. Peace.